Hello! Hi to all of you Quick and Carry fans. I'm Kristen Madrine and welcome to the Quick and Carry kitchen. We are going to cook borscht today, something so delicious, so yummy, and something that will help use up all of your late summer vegetables. So hello to all of you who are joining us live today. Welcome to the Quick and Carry kitchen. Another hello to those of you who might be seeing us after we're done going live. Remember that you can always comment, you can ask questions. We love questions from the floor, actually. And you can even leave questions after the show because we always go back and check on you and make sure that we try to say hello to all of you who have joined us from all over the country and Canada. Hello to all of our Canadian friends. And we try to answer any of the questions that you send to us. So welcome to all of you. What is Quick and Carry? Well, Quick and Carry is our bag. We decided to make a transport bag for the Instant Pot and other electric pressure cookers. And this is our beauty of a bag. It has a lot of wonderful features, including two really sturdy straps on the top. There's a top part here that is so amazing. This morning I brought in a whole thing of borscht, a huge Tupperware of borscht. Went in this top part. You can put your accessories in here. You can keep spices and other supplies in there. And then inside there's your Instant Pot. This is the 6-quart bag that you see in front of me here. And we also make an 8-quart bag for your big guy. And then we're working on a mini for the 3-quart Instant Pot that's come out this summer. We also have a wonderful little pocket here. It holds a cookbook, it holds towels. I bring all sorts of stuff with me to work when I do these Quick and Carry Fridays, and so I love the bag. I love that I can use it, and it certainly helps me as a cook to take my Instant Pot with me. What we do here every Friday is we call it Take Your Instant Pot to Work. And we do that because we love food. We love our Instant Pot. We love to eat together. Today we had a great meal of borscht with a little sour cream and dill on it. I don't know if you can see that very well here, but borscht is a beautiful jewel tone. It's a ruby red from the Beets. And then it's served, this is a very Eastern European dish, and it is typically served with either sour cream or yogurt. As a dollop on top, you can stir it in, and then I like to sprinkle a little dill over it. So we do not have a fancy kitchen here. This is just your basic kitchen. We do have, a microwave and a little toaster oven, a refrigerator, a sink, but we don't have a very fancy kitchen here, and yet we manage to have delicious meals because of the Instant Pot. And so we call that hashtag Take Your Instant Pot to Work. And we want to challenge you to take your Instant Pot to work and cook for your colleagues. It's fun, it's easy, and it's so nice in the Instant Pot. You turn it on, go back to your desk and do what you need to do today. Come back and lunch is ready. So please send us any questions that you might have while we're live. I can answer any of them that we have, and I'm actually going to take a little look here and see who's joining us. Lena, hi Lena, thanks for coming and following us today. Anybody else here? Anna, hi, welcome. Nice to see you. Christine, nice to see you too. Thanks for joining us. All right, I have a couple things I want to talk about. I'm going to turn the Instant Pot on. I'm going to move this. And last week we talked a little bit about the saute function, and I want to talk about it again because it's really important for this. I have already cooked the meat on the saute function on the Instant Pot, and when I first started cooking with the Instant Pot, I thought, wow, this saute function is super hot, and I didn't know how to turn it down. So I want to go over that again because it's a really great thing to only have it on normal instead of high when you're cooking something with some oil and some meat in there. So you push the saute button, and then you can see that there's a 30 here, and you can adjust it. Adjust up to high, low, or medium using the adjust button. and now it's going to come on to normal. And for most of what I cook, I prefer the normal because the high is just a little too much for me. So I started the recipe, which you can find on our blog at quickandcarry.com. I started by putting a little olive oil in the bottom of the pan and then sauteing my stew meat. So that's already been done. And now I have onions that are in here, and they are mostly sauteed. I did that right before we went live. And now as it comes up, I want to talk a little bit about adding garlic and also about deglazing the pan, because that's really important for developing the flavor, especially of a soup or a stew. But really anything in the Instant Pot is going to be better if you do these steps in this order. So I've got my onions in there, and onions typically take 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how many you use. They need to start to become translucent and very fragrant, and you don't want to add your garlic yet. You want to wait until your onions are almost done, and then I like to use a garlic press. I have already peeled garlic here, and I'm going to put in 3 or 4 cloves just using my press and a knife. Now, most of the presses today, you can use cloves of garlic that still have their skins on, and they're very effective, but I like these from Lucky's. Remember, I always talk about our friends at Lucky's. They are a great market here in town, and we buy all our groceries for our shows from our friends at Lucky's Market, and they make this super prepared garlic. So if you cook garlic too long and at too hot of a temperature, it will become bitter, and you'll be left with a funny taste. And so it's really better if you wait until your onions are nearly done, and then you're going to add your garlic, stir it around in the pot, and I hope you can hear that, because that sound is what you're looking for. How are we doing here? Hello to Kristen. You people should tell me where you're from so I can recognize where you're joining us from. Remember, any question we'd love to have. And especially if you've taken your Instant Pot to work, we would love to know, what do you make in your Instant Pot? What do your colleagues at work like? So now we have beautifully browned, I'm going to try to show you some of this, beautifully browned onions, and the garlic is just becoming fragrant, and I'm going to deglaze the pan. And I'm going to come over here with my beef broth, and I'm just going to pour a little in. And I'm going to use that liquid to stir the brown bits that are left from the meat and the onions cooking, and I'm just going to stir that. And it does make a little brown sauce at the bottom. Oh, it smells delicious. And so now everything feels a little soupy because I've added just a little bit of that, and I've gotten all the brown bits off the bottom, and so then I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this beef broth. You can use chicken broth, or if you're going for a totally vegetarian borscht, you don't have to use the meat at all. It's delicious without the meat. And you can just use vegetable broth, or you can even just use water. All right, so I'm going to stir that, get that nice and mixed. And then at this step, I'm going to add the extras. So I have 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I have 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And tomato paste just gives it a nice little undertone in your borscht. So there's that. I'm going to stir that just until that's sort of incorporated. And then I'm going to add my dill. This is 2 tablespoons of dried dill weed. And I have 1½ teaspoons of salt and about a ½ teaspoon of ground pepper. And I'm going to add all of this here. and get that nice and stirred up. Oh, it smells so delicious. And you can keep it on saute, keep the pot on saute. Now I'm going to add the meat back in at this point. And then I've cut up a lot of vegetables. I have red beets, golden beets, carrots, and potatoes. And these are all going to go in at this point. You know what? Just going to use my hand. Now, let's talk about beets for a moment. If you're lucky enough to live somewhere where you have a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods, often you can get beets that are already peeled and cut for you. I, however, get all of my vegetables from the farmer down the road. Her name is Joanne Olds, and she runs a beautiful farm, organic farm, locally to me. So yesterday I called her and asked her, do you have all the stuff I need for my borscht? And she did. And in fact, when I got to the farm last evening, she went out and got the carrots right out of the ground for me. That's how fresh all this is. But you can get the beets already prepared. And then I'm just going to put some of this cut up cabbage in. Put the rest of those beets. There we go. And then I have 4 cups of water here. And I'm going to add that. And the liquid should come up almost to the line on the inside of the Instant Pot where it says not to go over. So that's exactly where I'm at. And then I'm going to ask one of my helpers to hand me the lid of the Instant Pot, which is right over there. And I'm going to get ready to turn it on. Thank you. So the happy sound of the Instant Pot sealing, I have my toggle put to sealing, and I'm going to turn it on manual. And I'm going to increase to 25. And there we go. Now our borscht is in the Instant Pot. It is going to smell absolutely wonderful in here while it is cooking. It's a very fragrant dish. And here we go. We're on our way up. Now, another thing to talk about the Instant Pot. When it is this full, it takes a little bit longer to come to pressure. So when I timed it at my house, when I made this last night, it took almost 15 minutes for it to come to pressure, even though it was super hot from already having all of the stuff sauteed in it. So it does take about 15 minutes to come to pressure, and then the 25 minutes to cook it. And then I let it natural release for 10 to 15 minutes, depending what I'm doing. And then I came back last night and I released it and took some out to taste it and make sure that everything was done. I do think that that's something that you should try with the dishes that you do in your Instant Pot, is when you get done with your cooking, take a little out, let it cool, and then taste it. You can always cook it some more. And the second time that you go in to do Instant Pot cooking, it doesn't take as long to come back up to pressure. So don't be afraid of taking some food out, testing it, switching up, maybe testing your seasonings and making sure that you have enough dill or enough salt and pepper in it. Make sure that the vegetables are completely done, and then you can go ahead and seal it back up and maybe put it on for 5 or 10 more minutes. One of the things that I want to assure everybody about the Instant Pot cooking is that you really can't do it wrong. You can't mess up anything. It always comes out tasting delicious. This particular soup is incredibly healthy because of all of the wonderful vegetables that we've used, and you can't ruin it. There's absolutely no way that you can do this badly because the Instant Pot makes it so easy to cook. All right, let me see if I have any questions. How are we doing here? Hi, Melanie. Nice to see you here. Oh, someone is using, you can use 3 different kinds of beets. Yes, you can use, I use the golden beets and the red beets. And I did use just right from the ground beets. Some of them were small, so I peeled them all. You can also cook your beets in the Instant Pot, take them out, cool them, the skins will come right off, and then you have your beets ready to go back in the pot. So I could have done it that way too. Both ways are messy. Notice the apron. I know myself well enough that if there are beets around, I'm going to have pink on me, and indeed I do. I have pink all over everything. Okay, so we've talked about the beets, we've talked about the cabbage. The link to our recipe is going to be in the notes underneath the video today, so you'll be able to find our blog and the recipe that I use. One of the things that is delicious, I was just saying this to one of my colleagues today, the combination of dill, vinegar, and beets just is delicious. There's a umami flavor in that just makes borscht really delicious, and I don't think a borscht is as good without the vinegar. So you use whatever you want to do, but I do think that that little brightness that the vinegar brings to a dish is really important with the borscht. So, any questions? Okay, so one of the other things I want to talk about today is we are going to do a special show next week where we're just going to take questions and answer especially questions from new Instant Pot users. There are so many questions, and I know there are a bunch of people that have an Instant Pot and they haven't even taken it out of their box. And so what we want to do is make you feel comfortable enough with the Instant Pot that you'll take it out of the box and use it. If you've followed along online with the Instant Pot community, you will have seen that you can do a water test. And that's always a great idea, but you're not really testing the equipment as much as you are teaching yourself that this is a safe electric pressure cooker. And so go ahead and do that, take it out and do the water test. And then many people recommend that you do eggs next because they're cheap. You can't ruin an egg. They might not turn out perfectly, but it's not something that you can overdo. You can't burn them. That's a great second thing to cook is a hard-boiled egg. And then most cooks who use the Instant Pot find that after 4 or maybe 5 times of using it, they feel a lot more comfortable with releasing the pressure, understanding how the lid works, working with the buttons. Then as you become a more, let's say an intermediate Instant Pot user, you learn how to use the different buttons for soup or cooking poultry or making rice. And then, of course, there's the cult within a cult of yogurt and cheesecake makers who really are advanced Instant Pot users. But it doesn't take very many uses for you to go from in the box to an advanced user. So next week's show, we want you to send us any questions that you have, and we're just going to do a question and answer session on how to use the pot, how to feel comfortable with it, why is it safer. You know, many of us grew up remembering that rattle on the kitchen stove in Grandma's kitchen in the summer when she was, doing beans. I remember that. I remember how it smelled. I remember how it sounded. And I remember being admonished to stay away from the stove because of the pressure cooker. So this is an entirely different kind of pressure cooker. And it's built so safe. There are 5 safety features that make it impossible for you to mess it up. It will not blow up. It cannot hurt you. And the worst thing that could happen is that you would burn yourself on the steam as it comes out. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to talk about next week. And we would love for you to participate with us and send us some questions. What are the things that you need for you to take it out of the box? And here at Quick and Carry, we love the Instant Pot. We love the pressure cookers, and we want you to also. So, again, you can always comment. You can always ask us a question. Please share the video, especially to people who are new and are struggling to learn how to use the Instant Pot. Maybe some of the tips for cooking here today will help them become more familiar with and comfortable with their Instant Pots. So, I'm going to just say another hello to whoever's here today. I'm having some technological difficulty with the iPad today. It will not let me see any comments. So there we go. Oh, every now and then, that's the way it goes with technology, isn't it? You just cannot get it to work. So again, thank you to all of you who are joining us live. I hope that you will use your farmer's market this weekend to go get some beets, carrots, potatoes, and cabbage. This is a wonderful way to use beets if you got them in your CSA this week and you're not really sure what to do with them. Borscht is a super simple way and a delicious way to use up a lot of the produce that we have here in late summer. Here in Michigan, we have an abundance of beautiful produce right now. It's warm, it's beautiful. Go to your farmer's market and get some delicious vegetables and make a borscht. Be sure to check out quickandcarry.com, learn about our bag and the benefits it has for storing and keeping your accessories and your pot safe. We have a lot of our customers who take their Instant Pot with them on vacation, take them to the cabin, go to different pot parties, and people love using the Quick and Carry bag because it's well designed and it's thought out so that you can take your Instant Pot with you wherever you go. So again, thanks for joining us live for those of you who've been with us, and thanks for any of you who are watching after the fact. We're happy to have you along. You can always comment, question, and share, and we will be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. And thanks for joining us from here in the Quick and Carry kitchen. As Julia Child used to say, bon appetit.